we go. Well, we get to start lesson 1 with, it's Alef. We're doing Psalms 119, 1 through 8. And I have been so excited about this all week long because for a lot of reasons, and I don't know before we hit the record button how much Crystal has shared with you, but I kind of want to open with that. Crystal, do you mind just giving your, did you already share it? But we got to get it on recording if you didn't. So about the letters.
I did share it.
Good. Well, here again for those who are listening on the replay.
So I was just telling them about how so this last week my mind was blown when we were talking about the letters, and I began to connect the dots, because God has a way of putting dots out there, and then every now and then he connects them, and then there's this huge picture, right? So I began to connect the dots. That was Proverbs 31 from Lauren Cruz, Strength of a Woman, and how it's an acrostic with the letters. And then Psalms 119 and how it's the alphabetical letters. And then we also talked about the 10 commandments, that are the 613 commands were first 10 commandments. They were first 10 utterances, but before that they were the 10 letters. So everything's commentary. So when you look at Psalms 119 and you see a letter and there's 8 verses after it, those 8 verses are the commentary on that letter. If you go to Proverbs and 119, when you look at all the letters, you see the character of God. Then you go over to Proverbs 31 and you see this acrostic, and there's this letter, and then there's this commentary on that letter that represents the character of his bride. And so when you see that it's about the letters, the tablets had the letters, all about the letters. And how I was talking to my daughter, and my daughter was talking about some struggles that she was having. And I was telling her, why are you making these choices? What letter do you have missing in your heart? Because when you put those letters in your heart, then God can write his story for you, and we can put the pen down and we can quit trying to write our own story. And when he fills your heart up with his story, then your heart's going to be overflowing, and because out of the abundance of the heart flow the issues of life. And when your story that he writes overflows from your heart, it becomes your testimony, and your testimony becomes somebody's victory. And so Amen. we have to recognize that it's about the letters. And then I shared that when we have these letters and they're on our heart and they're on our mind, and we understand what every single letter represents, that when they take away our internet, or when they take away our books, or when they take away everything that we have, and all we have is what's in our mind's eye, we can pull up one single letter and see and know everything that it represents, and we'll have the whole word of God in our heart. It's the letters. It's the power of the letters.
Isn't that cool? Did everyone just, I know, again, I thank you for repeating that for all those who are listening to the group. It's like, you know what? And then when she shared that with me earlier in the week, I was saying, I remember, and I think I talked to maybe I shared it last week too, is that I remember looking at wanting to play the keyboard and thinking it was so hard. This is so hard. I don't know how to do this. And I'm staring at it. And I remember just praying and like, God, if you need me to do this, then you have to show me how to do it. And he literally spoke to my heart and said, it's just 7 keys. And I was like, what? So I went back and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, we are now going to have a doorbell ringing and dogs. Good morning. And so I'm looking at my keyboard and it's just 7 keys repeated over and over and over. And when she said that to me, that was that hit me again. And that was over 30 years ago. And that literally hit me in the face. It's just 7 keys. And I'm like, it's just 22 letters. Hold on, I'm gonna mute real quick.
And then you know what else is very interesting about those 22 letters is some of those letters are made up of other letters. So like the Alef is made up of the Yod and the Tav. The Yod and the Vav, if I'm correct. So you have some letters that are made up of other letters. And so when you break the letters down, then you see how there's bits and pieces of God that's intertwined and overlapping and all consuming in those letters. So the Alef itself is a Yod and a Vav and a Yod. So even though you have 22 letters, you still have letters that are made up of the letters.
Isn't that cool? Is it cool? It's just, and then if you think it's just 22 letters, thanks guys. My neighbors were like, hi, we're coming to let you tell us how to take care of the dogs for the weekend. Not a good time, sorry. So it's just 22 letters. So I'm just gonna hop in really quick and share my screen, and let's just go over a quick, or not so quick, a quick just kind of just to talk about what is Alef and how does it relate to Psalms 119, 1 through 8. First of all, it's his word. We're going to see that this section of 119 refers to his word over and over. And throughout this whole psalm, 171 times out of these 176 verses, some mention of the word in some format. It might say commandments, it might say word, it might say testimonies. And also Yahweh. The name Yahweh is used 24 times. And the other way that his name is used in this psalm is Elohim, our creator God. It's used so many times. Just knowing his word, to be able to know the creator God, we have to know his word. And it's interesting, I've had a couple people mention the old book. Remember Knowing God. Has anyone been around long enough to remember the study Knowing God? Back maybe in your church days, we all did it with a big picture of a guy looked like Moses on the front, but was supposed to be God, I think. And I remember I'm going through that study. Gosh, it has to have been 30 years ago, almost 25 years ago, easy. And when I read this and when I was looking into this, I thought, here, our heart's desire was, I just want to know you. I just want to know you. And he's saying, I believe in this, is if you want to know who I am, that creator God, this part of me that's created the universe, then I need you to know my word. So we see that Alef, it's made up of three other Hebrew letters. It's the upper and lower yod that are coming in, and then there's a middle vav. Okay. So it's beautiful. One of the prerequisites I'd ask you to do is before each class is to actually go back and listen to Brenda Strauss. She has a teaching called Discovering the Energy of the Letters, our Alphabet course. And I'd like to, we're going to talk about that a little bit. I know you were talking about that before we hit record, but I want to just revisit a couple things from there, because what I love about this letter is that we're seeing that with that vav in the middle, and the yod's coming in, he's drawing us into the middle. He's drawing us into who he is. And it really does represent Yah. And one of the things about the letter Alef is that it really doesn't have a sound. So you're going to see it in a lot of names. You're going to see it in a lot of things, and it really doesn't have a sound. It's kind of like the H in honest, right? It's like the H in honest. And it's what they say is it's when you begin to open your mouth and you begin to make the sound, but you don't quite yet, that's the Alef. It is the beginning. It is a concept of oneness, of what oneness actually means. Like that ahad actually starts with an Alef. So it is, what does this oneness actually mean? It refers to God. If we think about it, Adam starts with an Alef, and he was the first man. Aharon, he was the first priest. Abraham was the first Jew. They all start with the letter Alef. And again, I just want a couple little things on this. Is we have that yod. It is the smallest letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It is the hand of the work that's done. Represents the hand and the work that's done with the hand. And just thinking, we're talking earlier about these words and these letters, we started with hands have 10 fingers, and we were given the 10 words. And again, this is about how, and we can be hearers of the word or doers of the word. We want to shema and shamar. It's not just, he's showing us this is his hand, but it's also showing us how also that we get to co-labor with him. And we're told that we are co-laborers. We get to co-create with him. Now that upper yod is reaching down to mankind. And I put a couple verses. Psalms 92:4 says, for thou, Yahweh, has made me glad through thy word, and I will triumph in the works of thy hands. And I just want you to see the picture of Alef. And that lower yod that's coming up shows the work of Yahweh sending his spirit to mankind. And in Joel 2:27-29, he says, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. In those days, I will pour out my spirit. And I think that, again, we're going to talk about this letter together as kind of a roundtable in a minute, but just I wanted those verses, just not only we're seeing the works of his hands, we're seeing this as Alef. We're going to talk about it being the ox here in just a second, and the power that goes behind this letter. If you just see this letter in so many ways, again, as we begin to open up and we begin to do our research or we begin to do our study, the letter should jump up and start dancing for us. This Aleph, it's the eternal link between the Creator and everything that emanates from him. And in Colossians 1:16 through 17, he says to us, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, and visible and also the invisible, whether there be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And I know it's kind of maybe we're trying to say, well, what does that have to do with the Aleph? I want you to see the creative properties of these hands coming and going and this intertwining. This letter is showing us he is the Creator. Now, you're going to also see this as the ox, because in the ancient way of writing this letter, it actually looked like the picture of an ox, right? You've seen it. It kind of looks like a triangle. I do have a picture for you. I will show you when I'll pop in and show you, but I have a picture. We have like it looks like the ox. So it's showing the strength and the power of Yahweh. And every word that starts with Aleph reveals something about Yahweh. Every letter. So it'd be fun as you go through and as you're looking, if you're opening up your Bible, if you have interlinear Bibles, or if you're like you have a Chumash or something that you're actually studying with, or if you're using the Blue Letter Bible and you spot the Aleph now, my heart for myself and my heart for you is that you see that Aleph and you get excited because you're seeing his hands coming down and coming up and us reaching to him and us co-creating. You see the power of our Creator, the creative forces behind this letter, and you see Yahweh. You're going to look for some characteristic of Yahweh in that word. So again, I said it was originally written like the head of an ox, a great power and dominion, and its numeric value is 1. Now you're looking in the Hebraic, in the Hebraic writings, in the culture, there's not like how we have letters and numbers. Well, their letters are numbers, and that's how math is done, is through the letters and the numbers. We'll work on that maybe another day, but we'll start with this, that the numeric value is 1, which we already said, that word for 1 is echad, Aleph, Het, Dalet. So the numeric value is 1 and the word is 1. So it's kind of like our close and close. It's the same word, spelt the same, but it kind of has 2 meanings, but it can mean kind of the same. That would be the same thing as echad for 1. It's not just meaning the number 1, but it's meaning about unity. So this letter is not only meaning that it's a number 1 in the value of 1, but it's also talking about the unity, the echad, the unity of his presence, of him. We hear Yeshua saying, I and my Father are one. He was saying, I and my Father are echad. We are in unity. Whatever you see me do, it's what he's doing. Whatever you see, whatever he says, it's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything apart from him. And he's called us then, again, to be echad, not with each other, but how do we do that is by being echad in him, by being one with him. The letter A upside down, it's really funny because if you look at the original one that looks like an ox, it also looks like our letter A upside down, exactly like that. And I got that out of the Strength of the Woman book from Lauren Cruz, her book, A Strength of Woman. She mentions this, that no wonder where we get our letter A, because it really does look like that Aleph, but it's upside down. One of the things about thinking about this as an ox is that we can we hear Yeshua talking about the yoke is light, and how much this great ox of power, so much power as our Creator, we want to yoke ourselves to him. So just some personal application before I switch over and we get into this roundtable about this. Personal application is I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Why is the Aleph known as the letter of Yah? Like, what does this mean to you? And I want us to talk about this together. So we'll go over these questions, and then we're going to open the mics up for everyone to talk about these things. And then what was the most personal, meaningful message of the Aleph that you found in your study this week? As you were reading or looking into the Aleph, what was your most meaningful study? And then maybe if you're listening to it later, you're going through this with us. I have some things downloaded that you can listen to, or you can actually pull up and go through a study. I have a study in there that you can go through. Many of those that are watching live right now, you'll get to do that. You can add that into your studies now this week. And then you will be able to, I want you to still come back and answer these questions. And would you put them down in the comments so that we could all see what your takeaways were from? And then what insights about Yahweh did you gain? Because the ultimate thing is if we could be doing all these things and we have not learned about more of who Yahweh is, we don't, it's for nothing. If it doesn't point us to him, it's really for nothing. And that's what I love about our course, the Alphabet course that Brenda has done for us, is that we have the 3 sections. We have who am I, what's my story, and where's Yeshua? Because the bottom line is this: if we can't find Yeshua in the letters, if we can't find our creator, our Messiah in the letters, then I don't want to study it. Like why? We don't need to study it, right? I'm going to show you really quick on here. I have, let's pick a, sure. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to hop into, there we go. I'm going to hop over into the Ruta Cafe because, can you guys see that or no? No, I don't think so. There we go. Okay, I'm going to hop over to the Ruta Cafe because I want to show you what's inside your library. Again, if you can download a Kajabi app on your mobile device, it's Kajabi. Download that app on your mobile device. And then sign into that app with your email and your password that you use for your Ruta Cafe library. This is going to come up on your phone. It makes it really easy and it's easy to see. Or if you're on your computer, you're going to just sign in, go to the Ruta Cafe and hit member sign in. And then if you're going to this class, I am going to reset. I love when I don't even publish what I'm supposed to have. So when you go in here, you're going to be able to see your downloads, except for you're going to all watch me go on the back end here and add that because I didn't hit publish. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Now, all of you, this is your lesson on how to work. So you're all hired now. Did it work? It worked. All right. All right. There we are. Lesson 1. So you should be able to click on lesson 1. And when you go into lesson 1, this video will be put on after we're done. This video will pop up on here as well. And then a few little studies with those questions that were on those last slides. I will put that PowerPoint slide in here. But a couple things I want to go through together is I want us to look at a couple downloads that I have on that page for you. And you download them and you bring them up. And I have done for you some word studies. So Psalms 119, 1 through 2, I've done it through 3 through 4 and 5 through 6 and 7 and 8. So what I put on here is the keyword. It's basically the keyword through those 2 verses. If you go through and you can look at, you write out the verse, you'd see these are the keywords in there. I'd like you to look up each one of those words. You look up each word, put the Strong's number. What is the Hebrew word? And I recommend you go to the root. If you need help with this, please let me know. I did do a class last night. Before you, first I'd ask you to go on there and watch the videos from last night. And I showed how to do that again, go into a deep dive on how to look up Hebrew words in our discipleship class last night. But also it's in the Blue Letter Bible for Not So Dummies course inside your library. You can go in there and pull that up and see how to do this. And then what is the meaning to you? Like, as you're seeing, what did you feel like the meaning for blessed is from a Hebraic perspective? Okay. And then down at the bottom, I said, write these 2 verses out using the full meaning that you found in these studies. So you might find that as you write out these Hebrew words and you figure out what are these meanings that are truly behind these Hebrew words, that these 2 verses may come alive to you in a whole new way. And I will work really hard on getting this to you by Monday or Tuesday next week so that you have it for the new letter, and we'll have it in advance. But this week I wanted to get this in here for you, and we have these for each one. Now, if you're saying I'm just, this is up to you as much as you want to get out of this, but these are available to you to print out and do that study. The other thing that I put in here for you is a list that you can download, and it downloads and then you open it. I did copy these from someone. And so it is, it was on here, the little code of where I got it from. But these are some letters that actually gives you some words that begin with the letter Alef, just to give you some examples. And then again, giving you the Psalms 119, 1 through 8, just showing the Alef message in here. So just another little printout for you. So great. So I would like to open up. I'm going to remove the spotlight on me. I want to open up from put us all here like we're all around the kitchen table. And would you jump back in and share with me? I think that, who's Tammy? Would you give me your input? Are you on here? I'm searching. Tammy. I don't see Tammy on here. Okay. So anyone else want to, I know Ina, you shared earlier, it was not on recording, but if you kind of just reveal maybe the heart that you got from the Aleph bet as you jumped into that first for the letter Aleph.
Yeah, so I was not able to, I have yet to get to bed, but Aleph, Brenda Straw has such an amazing class. And I think the thing that I got the most from the Aleph class was the idea, the concept of oneness, Ahad, and that drawing nearer, closer to not only Elohim, but Yeshua.
Yeah. Do you have any like examples of that for you?
That's a really good question. Examples of that. I would say like examples for me would be memorizing his word, studying who he is, praying a lot, and just learning who he is. Because in order to connect with someone or to be one with someone, you have to know who they are.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you. Anyone else have the opportunity to watch any of the videos that they want to share, maybe their takeaways, if you had an opportunity yet for the Aleph?
I just have one small thing, but I had kind of silly me. The Lord has brought this to my mind a couple of times, but I always love to have a red letter Bible on hand. And I was thinking about the Aleph, and I'm like, before you had hopped on, I had asked what people's insights were. And obviously there's multiple descriptions, but he's obviously the I think it might be a reference to like a ram or an ox, an ox. But also on my necklace it says that I wear, that I barely ever take off. It says that he is Yahweh Nisi, and the Aleph and Tav. Sorry, I don't have my camera on, but I'll just kind of put it up close, and if you can see that. But really, in the red letters, Jesus declares, I think it's Revelation 9, but he says, I am the Alpha and the Omega. So if you were to translate that back to the to a Hebrew understanding, it would be that I am the Aleph and the Tav. I am the beginning and the end, declares the Lord. And that's red letters that Yeshua had said. And he also, he speaks through the Psalms, the Father, the Son, and the Ruach, right? His oneness speaks through the whole word. And I had what stuck out for me was that whoever is walking in the way. And Jesus had also declared, Yeshua had declared, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And it's all just kind of screaming at me now, like like his oneness with the Father and the Son, they cannot deny each other, and that he is the most powerful, and that if we're grounded in the way, his way, then we can't fall. We don't, like, God will uphold us. He'll uphold us because he is the beginning. So
that's good. That's really good. I have this I was going to try to show you all. Let me see if let me spotlight my little self again here, so that you can see. So if you can read this, the Aleph and the Tav. In Genesis 1:1, that is Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew. And it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is that verse in Hebrew. Do you see what's in the very middle of that verse?
Yes, I'm
beginning
blown
is the
away.
12.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Charlie. Oh my
So
goodness.
if you need to
I'm
like get your
broken
phone
now.
and
I'm
get your phone
broken.
and get your
And
phone and
don't the
screenshot it.
sages say that in that that was where the Hebrew alphabet was created?
Yes, I mean, if you go that, they do say that. But it blew me away yesterday, Caitlin, because when I was reading this, and I was like, this is it. This is the beginning. He says, I am. He was there. I was there before. I was there after. I'm the one who created. I am the Alpha, and I am the Aleph and the Tav. I am this. Like when we go back to Crystal said, it's all about the letters. This is the first verse. It's the 7 words. The 7 words.
I'm broken. I'm going to turn off my camera.
Yeah, it is the 7 words. It's the menorah.
Charlie,
Do you see the
can you just
menorah right there?
explain-
For our creation gospel people, do you see the menorah? You have the three, and him in the center, and he is the center of your menorah. He is the Aleph and the Tav. Yes, I hear someone. Who is
Oh,
asking?
it's Jen. Yeah,
Hi,
I
Jen.
just can you just explain that one more time with the I just don't really understand like what you were saying, like in the middle.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Let me switch me back here so you can see me. So that way the video. Okay, so if you look at the screen, this is the Aleph, and this is the Aleph and the Tav. Okay, this is the 2 letters here, so that you know what they look like. We know the Aleph now, where we've been working on it this week, so you'll be really familiar to see things. And we won't get to this till the end, right? We're gonna get the very, very end. We'll get to Tav. So what in Genesis 1:1, this is Genesis 1:1 written out in Hebrew. And the verse is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that is it in Hebrew, okay? There are 7 words that make up the first words of Torah. 7 words, okay? In the middle of those 7 words, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the middle, right in the middle of it is the Aleph and the Tav. Do you see it? Right in the middle.
Now I get it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right in the very center is the Aleph and the Tav. And then if you see the menorah, you have the 3 branches on each side and him in the middle. That he's the one, he is the servant, can't, right? He's the middle. You'll start seeing so much, but literally all you really need to know is those first 7 words. Everything else is commentary. And then you get to the letters, and then everything else is commentary of those words, right? Yes, Mary Catherine.
This is so cool because it kind of connects to what like my little takeaway from Aleph or whatever the class was, because I'm like Einagol. I like got stuck on Aleph back when I first started Brenda's class, and then going back over it or whatever. The biggest takeaway for me about that letter, and then even if we go back and read this portion that we're going over in Psalm 119, it actually kind of, I mean, obviously it connects, but the part that got me was that it's 2 yods, and it's the mighty power of God. I'm reading my notes from her class, but it's that mighty power of God that connects us to him. And she said, the way Brenda put it, she's like, it's like a big hug from the Father. You know, like his hands are like, it's like a hand down, and then there's a hand that's up, and it's connected. The big hug is all connected by Yeshua. I mean, it kind of makes me think of what you just said about like the Yeshua in the center of it. And he's encompassing it all. I mean, it's all about Yeshua. Everything is about Yeshua, you know? But to me, I'm such a like physical person. And so when she said that, it actually helped me. That's the first time I've ever been able to hear from a Hebrew class and remember what Aleph actually looks like because of that hug description. So now when I see the letter Aleph, I just see a hug. Like, but you're muted.
A big, powerful, strong hug. You see the
Yes.
big, mighty power of your dad, daddy God, the
Yeah.
Father, creator, the everything. And you know, something hit me, and I know it hit me. So in the middle of this, knowing who he is, we were at Walmart. I'm sitting in the parking lot, and we're waiting for some cars to pass. I mean, it can happen anywhere, right? And it hit me, the creator of the universe knows my name.
Mhm.
And I was done. Like, he knows me. This guy knows me.
Yeah.
Before the foundation of the world, he knows me. He knows you. He knows you. He knows your name. He knows you. And I'm crying, and my husband's like, what happened? And I'm like, it just hit me because I was like pondering, as I was studying this through this week, and I was just pondering the creator. He's the creator. He's the first. He is it's number one. Echad. It's one. A couple other verses you guys could add to that whole process, and we're gonna have it in my notes. You have Isaiah 41:4, Isaiah 44:6, Isaiah 48:12. In all those places, Yahweh talks about himself as the first and the last. This wasn't a brand new thing for Yeshua to say.
Mhm.
Again, it was commentary. It had already been said. And guess what? It had already been said it had already been said. It was just said over and over, and then a different way, and then a different way. There is literally, when he says there's nothing new under the sun, we have to remember in his word, there is nothing new. There is nothing new. It's just all the different ways. It's like, you could hear even when Yeshua was here and he said, okay, I'm going to tell you, oh, you're a farmer. Let me tell you a parable about farming. Oh, you're a fisherman. Then let me tell it to you from the way of a fisherman. It's no different through the whole word. We're going to see, oh, you're a strong battle person. Then we're going to tell the story through a battle. Oh, this is who you are. Then we're going to tell you the story through women, through sisters. We'll see next week, women and sisters who can't have land. I'm going to talk to you about who I am and who my love is and how fair I am and how much I love my daughters as much as my sons. It's constantly, nothing is new. So super cool.
Caitlin wrote in the comments, it's Revelation 1:8 when it talks, I am the Alpha and the Omega, but in the Hebrew, he would say, I am the Aleph and the Tav.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Super good. So I'm going to do one more little thing on this, and I'm going to spotlight myself so that you can see on the video for the recorders. Do you guys see this? Can you see that this is the Hebrew alphabet? Okay. We start with Aleph. Let me get my little finger on the right place. Where's my finger? Okay. There's Aleph and there's Tav. And right in the very middle is Mem. Okay. And that word, Aleph, Mem, Tav, is the word for Emet. Emet. And that word actually means truth.
Mm.
So
Wow.
Just kind of cool. Just a little fun facts for you to have in your little brain. That's the first, the last, and the middle. Those come together and they mean truth. And it's a lot of times it's more than just truth. It's that something can be trusted. It's not like, that's truth. The better way to explain it is about it's reliable. It can be trusted. It is trustworthy. And in the Tanakh, the emet is often coupled with hesed, which we talk. I love Keisha Gallagher does a great teaching on hesed. You can go to graceandtorah.net and you can read. She's got a blog on hesed. It's very good. And it's coupled because it's about his covenant faithfulness. He's saying even in looking at his letters, that his word is trustworthy. His covenant is trustworthy. He is trustworthy. Perfect. Yes. Aleph Mem Tav. Great job. All right. I'm going to switch now to gallery. I want to see all of you. So anybody else?
I just love what you just said and remembering that this is all about him and who he is, because none of us are this constant and this trustworthy. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard for us to wrap our minds around somebody or something being that unconditionally available, loving, mighty, powerful. Sorry, I don't know why my toddler's beating on the door. but I also, like, back to that like hug thing, when I read, because I did not read the 119 1-8 until we opened the class up, and then I read it really quick before you got on. But with the hug thing, it just like, it tastes so good. Okay, just a minute, buddy. He's eating I just made zucchini bread, and he came in and he's like, that tastes so good. Okay, but hold on, Isaac. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm telling something to somebody. So, but what it says, like what stuck out to me in 1 through 8, and I think this is because my past or whatever, it talked about blamelessness or unashamedness a lot, or at least twice in 8 verses. To me, that stands out, like, blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the Torah of Adonai. Happy. So like when you're blameless, of course you have happiness in your life because you're not walking in shame. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear and see all this. And then toward the end, I think it was verse 6, it said, then I would not be ashamed when I consider all your mitzvot. I will praise you. Okay, hold on just a second. I will praise you with an upright heart as I learn your righteous judgments. I will observe your statutes, and you will never abandon me. Like that part right there. Shame and blame and abandonment. Those words like stood out to me. But it's like he in the Alef with that hug, it's like there is none of that within that hug and within his grasp and his power and his might. It's like far beyond all those things. If we would just stay within that hug and within that embrace, and it's like this huge word of like abide. To me, that's been a big word for me. And it's like abide, like stay in the Alef, dwell within my hug, within my words, right? Like what you were talking about, like we have to, or Crystal, put those on your heart.
Letter. Like, what if you just dwell in your letter? Like we get so overwhelmed where they're like, well, I have to know this language and I have to study all these things and I don't have time. I have all these kids and I don't know how to do all the things. What if you just know a letter? And when she made a comment, when she talked about her daughter and she said, what letter is missing from your heart? I mean, there's something missing. There's something missing. So we get to go through and say, what am I? And in this case, do you need a hug? Do you need to know that your dad is the creator of the universe and he knows your name? And we'll end today when we, in just a second here, when we end, I'd like to go through and we're going to read the Amanda put together your prayers. And again, it's also a download. It's in that first welcome session. You can download these. I printed them and put them in a binder. And I was going to laminate because girlfriend loves a laminator, but I did put them in sheet protectors instead. But I have that so that we can go through, and it's something each week you can pray these over yourself. Just one letter. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's just one. And if you don't have time all week to do the word studies. No, there's some of you who are going to go all in and want to do all that. And then some of you are like, I just get to show up and listen to the replay every week of one letter and just soak in that replay. Listen to it this year. That's what I get to do. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe next year, this won't go anywhere. It'll still be in your library. You can go back in and pick up a letter, pick up something. So anyone else have anything? I'm going to get to Caitlin. I see she has that's weird. My sister.
I have, it's all right. I have a copy of it's a Hebrew English Bible. I think it's the RSV or something like that. That's a translation. But anyways, years ago I had written this in. I'll just turn around my screen so that you can see it. But this is, so obviously you can see the English over here, if you can see that well, with the text from Revelation 1:8. And then I had circled, can you see that well? I hope you can. But yeah, it's the beginning of 8, the Alef, and that's just the parentheses. And then the tab right there. And yeah, it's all coming full circle with Revelation, or excuse me, Genesis 1:1 and Psalm 119. So thank you. So I hope that's helpful. I can upload this to Band as well, this photo, if it's beneficial.
That's good. And we see he's the first and last. So when we say, oh, I'm a whole Bible believer, someone has said, oh, well, I've heard someone say that, like, what do you tell people? Like, who am I now? They say, oh, I'm just a whole Bible believer. I believe the first word and the last word. And everything in between. So Debbie, do you have anything to add from this week for Alef?
What it made me think of is, I'm sure we've all seen the picture of, or the portrait, painting, whatever, of the hand coming down and then the man reaching up. That's what it made me think of.
Michelangelo from the Sistine Chapel, right? When it's that picture of God, isn't that great? And it's that connecting.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a great visual. Thank you, Debbie.
Charlie, were you talking about Keisha Gallagher's teaching at Revive in 2020? She
I
did
think
a teaching
so.
on Hesed.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on her, it might be on her site. I thought she wrote a blog
Yeah,
about it.
yes, yes. There is a blog post. I posted the link.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's very good. Great teaching on Chesed. Anyone else have anything that they want to share at the round table here about Aleph that came alive to you this week?
I have something, Charlie.
Yes.
So the first thing I wanted to say is that Aleph Tav, if you actually get a Sefer edition of the Bible, if you guys have heard it, or Sefer, depending on how you say it, that Aleph Tav is not translated. So you can actually read through the English portion, and every time that word comes up, you see the Aleph and the Tav instead of translating it. So I know you can get it on, you can get an app, CEPHER, and you can look that up in there. But I also wanted to share, it was very interesting working through the Scarlet Harlot of Creation Gospel with Keisha right now. And everything is looking at that, like looking at ourselves and looking at, are we playing the harlot or are we playing the righteous woman kind of thing? And we looked this week at Torah and walking out Torah, not just like obeying his commandments and doing all of that stuff, but linking to one another, not being in disagreement with one another, not being in unity with one another, how my sister works something out, how my brother works something out. And when I was listening to Brenda about the yud at the top and the yud at the bottom and that connector, that's also us. Like, we can reach out our hand to and help be that connector between Yeshua and another person, to say, come along, what you do, or excuse me, not what you do, how you do it and how I do it doesn't necessarily matter. Let's hold hands in unity. So I just thought that was interesting. That's what I got out of extending to my neighbor. I had written the on the applications portion of the notes that she provides on there, speaking to others in a way to connect us together and with him. Do I draw into unity with the eyes of heaven?
That's good. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Anyone else have a chance? Anything else they want to share? I thought I saw someone else's mic was unmuted. Debbie, was it you? Did you have something you wanted to share?
Not me.
Okay. I have a
Debbie on her Galaxy S9.
Debbie Galaxy, Debbie,
Yeah.
Debbie Galaxy S9. Nope. Anyone else? Anyone have anything else? I'm gonna go. Oh, thanks all. And again, on your chats, we'll add the chats into the library. But also, if you go down where you're going to type a chat, looks like a little piece of paper and then a little smiley face, and then there's 3 little lines, and you can hit save chat. So for those of you who are like, oh, I missed all that stuff, it was in the chat, you can actually save the chat. I don't know if you can do that on your phone. I'm gonna have to go in and do some skill development on that. I'm not sure if you can do that on your phone, but you can do it from your computer. So you can save the chat on there. So everyone else, nice to see all of you. Ellen, Lori, Yvette, Carol, hello, Carol, Jackie, Cindy, trying to think of the Tara, Kim Paka, Miss Bonnie Langford. Bonnie, do you have anything to add of your wisdom?
No, I just always thought when I read Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness was Psalms 119. I've always told people, go Psalms 119 and learn of him. And and I thought too, a lot of times I know when people first come to the Lord, when they first come and they start walking in his ways, and a lot of times they're having problems because I was called Pharisee. I went through a lot. Everyone has who starts walking in his ways. And I thought the first 4 verses here The first 4 verses lays it right out for them that a person could tell them, look, read the first 4 verses of Psalms 119, and especially when it says they do nothing wrong, but live by his ways. They're blameless, they're wholeheartedly with him. And I thought, just keep that first 4 verses and keep walking, they'll come. I know at first my mom wouldn't talk to me at all. And then now she's like, Shabbat Shalom, she's 95 and she comes over now and spends the evenings on the weekends. And for a long time, I still have a sister, it's been about 7 years, and she's trying. She's trying. But and I thought, you do nothing wrong. You're walking in his ways. And they'll come. I watch my mom, she wouldn't do Passover with us, and now she does, so it's like, but the first 4 right there, I thought, wow, it is so good for somebody that's struggling. Just keep walking, just keep walking in his ways. You do nothing wrong. And that's really a lot of it. As far as memorizing, no, I wasn't that good at it. I got about 6 verses down, and it's like every day, was trying, and thought, well, Lord,
it's a discipline. It is a discipline. It really is. And it's okay. What if you just say, I'm going to learn the first verse of each section. And that's it. Give yourself a break. And if you get that one down, okay, now I'll do 2. But it's more than you did last year.
Yes.
Yeah. If you memorize 1 verse a week, you got 52 verses in you this week.
I thought so many times I say, Lord, this photogenic memory that people have, just for your word. That's it. I don't want nothing else. Just let me read through here and just give me that photogenic memory. And I know that he'll bring it to memory. So just read. Yes. He does bring it to memory, but that's the only thing I keep praying. Give me that photogenic memory for your word.
Hey, Charlie.
Yes.
For the sake of the recording and in case people didn't do their homework, is it okay if I read Alef?
Yes, go ahead.
Alrighty. This is from the Tree of Life version. Blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the Torah of Adonai. Happy are those who keep his testimonies, who seek him with a whole heart, who also do no injustice, but walk in his ways. You have commanded that your precepts be kept diligently. Oh, that my ways were steadfast to observe your decrees. Then I would not be ashamed when I considered all of your mitzvot. I will praise you with an upright heart as I learn your righteous judgments. I'll observe your statutes. Never abandon me utterly.
Amen. Amen.
Charlie, also for the sake of the recording, I had shared about the document that and the 10 words that Crystal was talking about. And I just wanted to let you know that it's in the chat. Those 10 words we had connected back with like the 10 commandments on the tablets and everything. And they're used over and over again in Psalm 119. So I did not put this together. One of the guys in another class put it together and he allowed me to share it with you guys.
Okay.
And so it says, it gives every single verse where each of those 10 repetitive words are used throughout Psalm 119. So I put it in the chat and it's a PDF. So you can go ahead and if you want to upload that to the course page, you can do that too.
Fantastic. I have already downloaded it, so I will get it uploaded as soon as we're off the call. So I saw it in there and downloaded it. So we'll get that for you all. It'll be in there. And again, it is used with permission. So that was the reason I was hesitant, because when I looked at the top of it, I saw that it was from someone else. Thank you. And please thank him for his work and his studies.
I will. That link though, I tried to copy that link and that link does not work. So I might go in and change it. I don't have it in a PDF. I can actually change it. So Charlie, what I'll do is I will delete that link and I'll send it to you and then you can upload the new version.
Okay. All right. We'll do that instead. Thank you. Anyone else? I saw Ellen, you came on off mute. Is there something you wanted to share? Maybe no.
No, just it's always too noisy in my yard. And then I got this hyper kid babysitting kid for my niece, my grandnephew, and he just off the hook today. Somebody need to pray for him to see if he can sit still for a second. Sorry, but
And there-
yeah, I know the Aleph is, I know that's one of my, I mean, because I see it as a connection, you see the yod on top, and then on the bottom is like, Father's up there, we're down here, and it's like that in between, that he's reaching down to us and we're reaching up to him. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get off, too much noise.
That's okay. Hey, and you're also you're Kathleen, right?
Yeah, Ellen, I go by Kess, that's what my, my email address, that's what but my first name is Ellen and my middle is Kathleen, so that's why I go by Kate.
Would you check your email? I've sent a couple emails. I have your apron to mail to you, and the mail. I need a better mailing address from you.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I answered it last. I just saw it. I don't have to go. Yeah, but my daughter's in Allen, Texas. So, and I'm gonna go visit her soon. So that's why I told you could just send the stuff there.
Thank you. That does great on our budget
you
too.
can just send it to Allen, Texas.
Appreciate you for
I
that.
sent that address for you. Hello.
Thank you. Okay, appreciate you for that.
Charlie. No, I lost her.
Yes, Caitlin.
I can also put this on Dan, but the website, so I do have the physical Hebrew and English Bible, but I use, it's called haktuvim.co.il, and it's spelled HAKTUVIM.co.il. And that is, you can do it like whatever English translation and then parallel to the Hebrew. And I think they might also include Greek, but I use that a lot. So if that helps anybody out, but I put that in the chat. I'll also put that up on Dan.
Thank you.
No problem.
Very good. And Amanda, if you would send that to me in a PDF, not connected to Adobe, just because it keeps popping up for me if just send it as a plain PDF. So save as a PDF and then send it that way so we can open it up.
I'll send it in, like I'll email you.
That sounds great.
It. I haven't worked on it yet, but yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just thought pop up against it.
No. Someone had said the link doesn't work and the link wasn't working. So I was just putting it out there for them again.
Thank you. Hey, Tara. Hello.
Hi, I'm a total newbie.
Yay.
Say that at first. But I just wanted to say one thing. The Aleph in the Tav is, yes, like the signature for God, for Jesus. But when I was a few years ago, when I started learning conversational Hebrew, it's actually the word for you. At the beginning of a sentence, it's at, and it stands for you, the word you. And so it brings you into the conversation entirely. So it just shows the closeness that we have.
Are you talking about the Aleph Tav, the et?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And that's just in conversational Hebrew, it's the word you.
I love that. And it draws you in. I mean, we can kind of see that
Yeah.
as the Aleph. It's drawing you into the conversation. It's drawing you in. It's connecting you into everything.
Yeah. That's all I was going to add.
That's wonderful. Thank you for
Because
sharing
I just thought it was so wild. I was like, no, that's you, God. That's you. And he's like, no, that's you.
Because you're a
like,
HUD.
oh,
That's a
right.
HUD, right? It is you because you're a HUD.
Right.
Oh,
right.
that's so good.
It's
Okay,
so
if anyone else has anything else, then I'm going to close out. I'll give you one last look around. Any hands up? Or just unmute real quick. Do you have something you want to share? Thank you. Ellen, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I was telling you, you could mail it to Allen, Texas, to my daughter Christina.
Perfect.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were going to say an address and I didn't want it to be on the recording.
Oh, no,
So
I sent it in the email. Yeah.
Okay,
perfect.
Thanks, Kathleen. Appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna just go through this as we close. I'm gonna close out reading the prayer Amanda gave you all. I did, it's again, you can download these and print them out. So Father, may we be blessed and may our way be blameless. May we walk in the Torah of Adonai, of Yehovah, Yahweh. She has it spelled as Yahweh. I love that. Walk in the Torah of Yahweh, Yehovah. May we be happy by keeping his testimonies. May we seek him with a whole heart. Father, may we do no injustice and may we walk in his ways and may we keep your precepts diligently. May our ways be steadfast to observe your decrees. May we not be ashamed when we consider all of your commandments. May we praise you with an upright heart as we learn your righteous judgments. May we observe your statutes and may we never be utterly abandoned. Amen. 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 We'll see you next week for Bet. Get excited. And again, there's some word studies in there in your library for you to do if you're interested. It's just taking all the words out and giving you a chance to maybe re-look at 1 through 8 from a Hebraic perspective. So blessings, all of you. Blessings. Can't wait to see you next week.
Shalom, praying for a safe trip.